Okay, so we're officially on day 2 of our Living Well set. Um, so far, I've had fun with this, but we're only one day in. But it's been fun for me writing it. It's also been kind of weird because sometimes you can kind of get lost in just trying to focus on the intensity and how much strength and how worn out you're going to be. So the mental place with this specific program, I think will be healthy for me just as much as for you guys to really set in and understand how it looks and what it feels like to take care of all the joints and the muscles in the body in the process of staying strong and staying lean and conditioned and all that other fun stuff. So anyway, you will need a set of weights or a couple set of weights. We are going to end up, our weighted set will just be 3 rounds of 15 reps of a chest press, an alternating shoulder press from the ground, and then we'll be doing push-ups and shoulder taps combined with that. So if you're not doing push-ups, I would have you grab actually, if you have it available, a lighter set of weights, or you can use a band. So I just want you to have something different as far as from the weighted set to the body weight set for those of us who are able to do push-ups. So either use a band, like a mini band, put your arms in, it'll just press up and down, and then you'll pull and pull, alternating with that band from your back, as opposed to just hitting a whole nother round with your weights. So we'll go through that once we get there. Otherwise, go ahead and let's hit up our hands and knees on the mat. Put the tops of your feet on the ground. Give me a quick child's pose. So when you're in this child's pose, I want you to go ahead and take a couple deep breaths and focus on your body in space. So spread your fingertips super nice and wide. Feel the shoulder blades set down and lock into the upper back. And then we want to remember our mobility points and our stability points. So the stability or mobility kind of starts in your neck, right? So you can hinge your neck side to side, left ear down, right ear down. And then we want to set those shoulder blades in, and that's actually another stabilizing point. So even when we're moving our shoulders around, our back across that upper back and shoulders is stable. Then our movements, our mobility comes into the thoracic spine, which is the mid back. So we're going to go ahead and hit there and work on building some mobility. So bring your shoulders up over the wrists, spread your fingertips nice and wide, grab the core because we also want stability in the low back, right? So we want stability in those shoulders, mobility in the mid back, stability in the low back. So with that, let's put our right hand behind the head, inhale, and twist to lift the shoulders. So remember, the shoulders all should move as one, and your hips stay still. So we're twisting from the mid back. And then the right elbow drops to the left wrist, and then lift up again. So inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Push into your thumb and first finger to support. And if this is too much on your hand, or if it's too much on your upper back, you can also do this on a wall. So just kind of push into the wall, focus on your rotation here, keep your hips level, and just work from there. So let's go 2 more. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower, inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. And then we'll switch to the other side. And chances are you'll be a little more mobile on one side than the other. And that's okay. We're just checking in, figuring out the body, training ourselves to feel stability in the shoulders, movement through the mid back, and stability in the low back. So I know, especially whenever I first started doing these, I think I shifted my hips a lot because I just wanted to yank that elbow up as far as it would go. But that doesn't help build the mobility. What we're going for is keeping stability, shoulders and low back, so that we can build that flexibility and mobility in the mid back. And that's going to keep our low back happy. Yay. Okay, from there, go ahead and push yourself back into a low squat. I'm going to start in a high squat, just depending on where everybody is at. You might be really low, you might be high. So if you're high, if you're kind of tight and not super flexible, this might be what you look like. Get your knees out with the toes. So remember, we want to twist into the heels, find torque in the knees. The knee should always be heading with your toes. Okay, so from here, I just want you to, again, rotate. So we want to find stability in the low back and mobility in the mid back. So rotate. If you have the flexibility, you're going to drop all the way down, keep your butt nice and low, and then twist here. Okay, so you just find wherever your hips, knees, and ankles are at. Remember that our knees are also a stability point, right? So we want to keep those stable. And the ankles are actually where we get a lot more rotation and mobility. So if you have tight ankles, that could cause issues with lunges, squats, anything like that. Couple more each side. Twist from that mid back. Keep stability in the low back, keeping that pelvis neutral. Okay, go ahead and stand all the way up. I guess we could have just plopped down because that's where we're going. Lie on your back on your mat, and we're going to drop. Take your right ankle, put it over your left knee. Find your body in space, so shoulders, hips, and legs. And then with your arms out in a T, you're going to just drop your hips and legs to the left. So keeping stability in the low back, meaning that your core is supporting that low back. It's staying nice and flat across, so it's going to rise. The hips are what are mobile, right? That's what's moving the body in space. So technically, this little pose is supposed to help realign the hips and pelvis. Technically, you're supposed to hold it a minute each side, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Grab through the core, pull it back up. This is a good one to do when you get up in the morning, reset from a funky night of sleep. Cross your left ankle over the right knee. Let that left knee kind of drop open. Make sure that you're still lined up, right? Hips, shoulders, knees, feet, and then drop your feet to the right. Or this would be something good to do at night before you go to bed. 1 minute each side. I have this nice beam in my garage. I can kind of see if my body feels lined up to that. But kind of just feel. You should start to really feel what the spine feels like, your back, your torso. Start to just check in and be able to tell if you're out of alignment, if you're off of your rotation. Notice if you feel stable in that low back. All right, and then bring it back up. Okay, from here, we're just going to go straight into a glute bridge. So slide your hips up, flex into the glutes a lot. So think about your shoulders, your hips, your knees, and your feet. Pull the feet back towards your shoulders to engage more through the hamstrings, more through the glutes. Now, check in with your core. Okay, so a lot of times we end up just overarching that low back and then we lost our stability point. So kind of find that neutral spot in your pelvis. So it's not sinking and you don't have a sway, but it's not tucking too awfully far. It's just neutral. So find that flexion of the hips, flexion of the butt, and that should help. Okay, you can stay here, or if you would like, without tripoding your feet. So your left foot might want to come into the midline, but I want you to keep it right where it is. Pull your right knee into the chest and see if you were able to keep your hips level and stable. If so, just push your legs straight out and then pull it back in. So we're going to keep our movements pretty slow because we want to focus on stability in that low back. So glute bridge should be super good for your low back, good for your core, good for your glutes. But if we don't take our time and pay attention, then we can lose that stability. Keep that core strong, tighten through the transverse muscles. We're going to go 5 more. Tug it in, push it out. If you lose that stability, if you lose that hold, put your foot back down, reset, or just hold it tucked in and maybe don't push it out and pull it in. 3, 2, envision you're pushing a band, super strong band away from you. 1, okay? Bring it back in, reset. I dropped a little bit for sure, but I still had stability in my low back. Okay, grab, tighten, flex, bring the left leg up, and then push it out and pull it in. Check in with that right knee. Make sure it's not falling inward toward the midline. Here we go. Push it out and pull it in. Flex it nice and deep. Good. Drive through that foot. Belly nice and strong. Keep that pelvis stable. So really, really, really tight. Let's go 4 more. Feel your quad contract, your glute. Last one. Keep the core going. Keep that pelvis square. Bring your foot in. Drop it down. Push those hips up just a little higher. Squeeze between the knees. And then slowly drop. All right, hug your knees into the chest a quick second. And then we're going to move into our dead bug. Okay, so knees right on top of the hips. Flex your feet. Bring your arms up. Here, I don't think you're muted. Grab you. There we go. Okay. So put those knees right up over the hips. Flex those feet. Arms are going to be straight up over your shoulders. So your head is going to relax into the ground. Put your left hand on your right knee and build traction there. So driving that right knee into the hand, left hand into the knee, and then extend and hold. So push the low back into the ground. Find flexion into the abdomen. Wherever you want to put that opposite leg out in front of you. But your abs should be on fire. Flex and deep, flex and deep. So we want to build that ability and awareness to keep contraction in the core without actually doing crunches or tucks or anything else. This is just pure self-flexion. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back in, and then we're going to switch. Right hand pushes on the left knee. Find that traction and tension. Extend your right leg out and the left arm. Flex into every single muscle you can, but of course, pay special attention to the core. Should be tough to keep the flexion and breathe and talk. Good job. Make sure you're not grabbing up in the neck, so keep the flexion in the core. Push the low back into the ground. 3, 2, and 1. All right, tuck those knees into the chest. Roll around through the hips. All right, our last little mobility set, core check-in, is going to be a side plank hip dip. So if you do not do a side plank, I'm going to have you try a couple different options. You can use a wall, okay, and support yourself on a wall. Pretend like you still have, we want that same motion kind of that we go through with a side plank hip dip. Otherwise, you can also stay here and get that same motion in this position. But again, think about those mobility points. Okay, so that's what I want us to go through, whether you're in a side plank or in a kneeling oblique shift, right? So you find that stability in the low back, find the stability in the shoulders, then you drop the hips, press them up, or if you're kneeling, hinge to the side and push back. We're gonna go for 20. Front of the belly draws in tight. 6, we're not going for speed, we're going for range and heat. Obliques, front of the abs, halfway. Keep those shoulders stable. A lot of times we end up hinging kind of forward and back as we lift and lower. We want to try to just go straight up and down. 15, 16, 17. If you're in the alternate, just really try for range, but watch that you get that stability. Shoulders, low back. Okay, switch it, other side. Here we go. Rotate it over. Lift up nice and high, drop, and push. We want to build that support. Open through the chest. Work for range. If you're in your side plank, see if you can keep the top leg straight. 11. Find that movement through the mid-back. Open that chest. 3 to go. 18, 19, 20. All right, drop it down. Nice work. We're going to move on to our weighted set. So grab your weights. We're going to go 15 reps. We have a chest press. Okay, we'll have our hips up in a glute bridge as well. So chest press, then we're going to go an alternating press, 15 each side. We'll flip it over, hit our push-up and our shoulder tap. If you don't do the push-up and shoulder tap, grab some lighter weights. You can go body weight. I want you to just really develop this self-flexion, or you can grab a mini band. All right, here we go. Hips up, arms set. So remember all those points of traction. Drop the elbows out, press arms back up. Think about how you're getting from 1 to 15. Don't just get lost in the number. What's going on? All the body, chest, shoulders, head, jaw, core, rib cage, glutes. Keep it all going. See if you can rotate those shoulders back and down. 4 to go. Squeeze the knees toward one another without them actually touching. Last one, just rotate your hands to face one another, and then you're going to do an alternating press. 15 each side. Keep the core flexed. Keep your wrists right over those elbows. 6, 8, think about how you're getting there. Here's 10, brace through the back, press with the tricep. 12, press both your shoulders evenly into the ground. And 15. Okay, you're gonna go back to the band press or your body weight press, or you join me for push-ups and shoulder taps. Just think of this as a moving plank. Get those hips set. Push with the chest. 5 to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Narrow up those hands. Open your toes, set in that core, and shoulder tap. Again, stability in the hips and then the shoulders. 6, work into that core. We've got 5 to go. Tuck in that belly, flex through the glutes. 2 and 1. Whew. All right, those push-ups were tough after the weighted set, but that's what we want. Okay, flip it back over. Grab those weights. Remember, everything starts with that core contraction, sliding shoulder blades down. Here we go, chest press, 15 reps. Belly strong. Work through the chest. 10, 5 to go. 4, 2, and 1. Okay, then our alternating press. Shoulder press. Wrists right over the elbows. Core stays strong. Keep those hips level. Decide where the work is coming from. Here's 10. Whew, I'm struggling, but I want it. 12, 13, 14, keeping those shoulders back and down. 15. Whew. Nicely done, nicely done. Flip it over and give myself a little second. And then we have our push-ups. Stay on those toes if you can. It's okay if your if your reps dump. All right, here we go. Ready, set, core strong, and go. Not much range for me, but I'm happy with where my core is. Still feeling the chest. Good support in the shoulders and back. 2 more. And 1. Set the shoulders over the wrists, toes a little wider, and then you have your shoulder taps. Core strong. There's 10. Flex through that core. Flex through the legs. 14. 15. Whew. 1 more set. Good job. I'm going to go down in weight. I started noticing the flexion of the core. Here we go. Ready, set, and begin. I was losing my core a bit on the last little alternating punches. It's not worth the wait. That's what we want to really focus on this whole 12 weeks. Our form. Yes, we want to challenge ourselves, but getting proper form constitutes a much better movement. You can actually get further than if you're trying to force heavier weights and lose your form. Lots of core. 3, 2, 1. All right. Rotate your hands. Here we go. Shoulders back and down. Oh, that was another thing. My shoulders wanted to pop out and roll forward. Not okay. It's okay if you find that and you can fix it. But if you can't get it fixed, go down and wait. Belly strong. Wrist stays over the elbow. 7. Push through that tricep. Are your hips staying level? Core staying strong. Keep some tension between the shoulder blades. 12. 14 and 15. All right. Whew. Sweat has started. Stretch it out a quick second. Going to go through our last round, push-ups and alternating press. Or if you have that mini band on the ground, push up with that, just drive it up, and then alternating pull. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, 15 push-ups. Go. 5. 10. I need a second. Push through that thumb and first finger. Get a wide spread with those fingertips. And 15. Whew. All right. Nice job. We have our shoulder taps. And then we get to move on. Great timing. Here we go. 1, 2. Find that perfect plank. Here's 10. 13. Keep bracing with those glutes. And 15. Whew. Hinge it back. Stretch through those arms. Good job. Okay, we want some time for a little bit of finishing off mobility work, but we're going to take one quick burst round. 10 mountain climbers. If you don't do mountain climbers, just stay up, arms overhead, march really fast. We're going to do a squat thrust. Plant your hands, jump back, jump in, jump up. So we're integrating all that we've been working on. Flexion, support, stability. If you don't do a squat thrust, speed, lunge, tap overhead. And then lastly is a gate swing. If you don't do those, start here, extend out, in, out, in, out. Okay, starting off with mountain climbers. We're going 10 each, 10 each. Ready, set, go. 8, 9, 10. Then squat thrust. Big thing here, push into those hands, shoulders. Keep the core strong. 2 to go. Knees with toes. Okay. Woo. Then our gate swings. Here. Knees with toes. Get those inner thighs. 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo. Last jump in. Okay. Nice work, nice work. Join me on the ground. Put your feet to the left, if you want to mirror me, with a little zigzag or Z-sit. Okay, so if your feet are to the left, right arm is going to plant out, away from your body just a bit. Ooh, that burst work. Inhale, bring your left arm up, open just a little behind you. So think stability shoulders, stability low back, middle back is your rotation, and then tuck under. So scoop and tuck, push into that right hand to reach the left behind. There's 1, we're going to go 4. Inhale back, exhale, tuck under. 3, inhale, 4, stability in the shoulders, stability in the low back. Last 1. That's it. Okay, now just swing your legs to the other side. Plant into the left hand. Right arm goes back, inhale, tuck under, push into that left hand. Oh, I got a little back pop. Felt good. Keep the core strong, even though we're kind of cooling it off. 3, inhale up. 4. Some of us will twist a little more than others. That's fine. Okay, and then lie it on your back. And finish off kind of how we started. Cross that ankle over the knee. Put your arms out. So if your right ankle is on top of the left knee, rotate your hips to the left, and then let the right knee drop out away from you. It doesn't feel like a lot as far as a really big stretch, but notice your upper back is pushed flat into the ground. You're twisting through the mid back, and then hopefully that low back is still stable with the core. Come back to center. Keep your legs crossed. Just pull hands behind your left knee. Flex both feet. Pull deep into the chest. I'm so impressed, you guys. We had a lot to get through today. We did great. You did great. Okay, drop your right foot to the ground. Left foot over the top. Find that midline, right? Find your body in space. Then drop your feet and hips to the right. And then keep these little mobility moves in mind. If you find you're having low back trouble or you feel tight, your hip flexors, go back through some of it. The rotations for the mid back, your squat rotations, and then these little figure 4 twists. Come back to center. Flex both feet. Pull from behind that right thigh. Deep into the chest. Take a couple nice deep breaths. It was a terrific day 2. So optional along with these 12 weeks, I'm going to add in kind of a weekly challenge, but put both legs straight up, Flex your toes towards your face and grab behind the calves or your thighs, or if you have a strap handy, grab there. Okay, so this week, this is something we've already been working on. Many of us started halfway kind of through the Strong for Summer set. All right, rock yourself up and put your right leg out and your left leg into the thigh. Arms come up and then twist over your right leg and then hinge over. So it's streaking. My streak amount, it's not running around naked as much as people might like to think it is, but my streak is 1 mile per day. So that's a minimum. You can walk it, you can jog it, you can bike it, you can row it, swim it, whatever you want. For me, it's been walking, running, or hiking. Okay, arms come up. See if you can stabilize through that upper back. Use the core to extend your other leg. Bring the other leg in. So right leg in, left leg out. Twist the body first. The twist comes from that mid back, remember? And then over the legs. So that's our challenge. Since some of us are already doing it. If any of you missed kind of me chatting about it in some of the other videos, now you know. I am officially on day 42, 41 or 42. So I've stuck with it, kind of started on my summer vacation. And it's nice. Some days I have to push it because I only have 7 minutes, so I run a really fast mile and kill myself. Some days I can just take a nice little mental walk. All right, walk your hands back, take those feet wide, sit into that low squat one more time, press the knees out. The challenges are optional, but remember, ultimately what we're doing is trying to find the best mental place, psychological place, emotional place during these next 12 weeks. They're full of crazy in our world. So we're going to try to stay healthy in body and mind. Push those hips straight up, reach over the ground, come up with a nice deep inhale. Great, great work. You guys did fantastic. I will see you tomorrow.